good evening, everyone. Yes, you have tuned in to the Self-Checkout Show. And guess what? Tonight I'm your host. I have taken over once again my brother's weekly show, the Self-Checkout Show. And I am super excited to be live here on Facebook, to have the opportunity to chat with you all, to engage with you all, to share with you all, and to continue on in the series that he began on last week, discussing our friendships, or our friends, if you will. Do me a favor. Do us a favor. You all know he asks week after week for you to share the live. Take the next 30 seconds, if you will. Share the live. I promise you, it's going to be an awesome live. I am not sure why I've got blue happening in my glasses. Hate it. We'll have to try to, make sure that we kind of, honey, find me another pair of glasses, maybe. Let's see. I don't know why we got blue, but that's okay. How about I need them though, y'all, because I won't be able to read without them. So we'll have to keep them on until we can figure out which one of my glasses won't give me the screen in them in the background. As you are coming in, do me a favor. Say hello. I too am going to take an opportunity to share the live to my Facebook page. Let's see. Let me go to Pastor Will's page. Oh, there we go. I'm talking. I can hear my own stuff. How about that? I'm going to share it to my page. And again, do me a favor. As you're coming in, talk to me. Let me know that you're out there with me, that I am not by myself. Let's go ahead and let my brother know that it's going to be a phenomenal show. We are going to chat, chop it up, and have good conversations talking about our friends. I'm super excited because not only am I hosting the show tonight, but I've got a special guest. Our special guest will come on in just a bit. I do want to go back, though, and share some of the points that Pastor Will Pastor Will shared on last week. It was a dynamic show. We had a lot to say. He opened up our eyes on a lot of different things. Those don't have prescriptions in them. My husband brought me a pair of glasses that I cannot use. Look at my purse and see if there's another pair. You all forgive me. It's rough on a girl. Not that she needs them to see, but she needs them to read. So it gets a little crazy sometimes. But I went ahead and pulled it up because it was phenomenal on last week. 7 signs that you're being a bad friend. 7 signs that you're being a bad friend. Nope, that's going to do the same thing. Number 1, if you missed it on last week, jot them down or take note of them, or ask yourself, do some internal questioning of yourself to see where you stand as a friend. Ask yourself, am I being or am I a bad friend? Right? Number 1, you always manage to steer the conversation back to yourself. You always manage to steer the conversation back to yourself. He shed a little light on it last week. He said it's when we're talking to each other and your friend may be telling you what's going on with them, and all of a sudden, somehow or another, you manage to say, well, that happened to me, or I'm dealing with that, or, I had that same experience. Instead of listening to them, talking to them about what they're experiencing, what they're dealing with, you turn that thing right on back around and put the attention on you. Good evening, Mama Helen. How are you? Number 2, you commit to plan. Oh, it's a pet peeve of mine. You commit to plans already knowing that you're going to back out. You commit to plans already knowing that you're going to back out, which is one of my biggest issues. Hey, Ken, because my friends, I feel like I'm obligated to them. I posted that last week while he was sharing with that. I feel like I'm obligated to them. So if I say that I'm going to come to their birthday parties, if I'm coming to a celebration, if I'm coming to a sentiment, a moment, I do everything in my power. I mean, I don't care. And most time, anybody that knows me knows I'm bad for double, triple, quadruple booking myself. But I'm telling you, I'm going to slide from one event into the next event, into the next event, like a baseball player, y'all. I'm sliding into bases, trying to make everything that I've said almost to where I have ran myself ragged, right? But it's important to stay committed, to be obligated, or to be accountable in your relationships when you have friends. Number three, you're good at making friends, but not keeping them. No fun there either. And he shared light on this as well. You know how a lot of people at the top of the year or at the end of the year make that announcement, that yearly announcement. I'm cleaning out my Facebook page. I'm deleting friends. If you made it over, if you crossed over, lucky you, because you're still my friend. Okay. So he talked about that on last week too. Listen, let's just be mindful of the friends that we're making when we're making the friends that we're making, right? You're good at making friends, but not keeping them. Number 4, we're moving right along. Number 4, you're never the one to initiate plans or check in first. It's not all about you. Sometimes we have to make plans. Sometimes we have to plan things for each other because we all want to be cared about. We all want to be thought about, right? We all want to be thought of. So make some plans sometimes. Initiate. That's what a relationship is all about. It's about initiating. Each one taking the opportunity, taking the chance to initiate plans and or events with each other. Hey, Michelle. Number 5. You constantly lean on your friends for emotional support, but they don't turn to you. That's deep. You're always the one leaning on your friends, but when they're going through something, they can't turn to you or they don't turn to you. And why is that? Maybe because of lack of trust, or they don't know how you're going to handle them, or they don't trust you to handle them. Yikes. Ouch. Yeah, Josh, that one's rough, right? And number 6, you don't respect your friends' boundaries. You don't respect your friends' boundaries. You know, some of us have boundaries. Some of us don't when it comes down to friendships, but we have to be mindful. Call me after this time, or call me, before this time, or not until this time. Then don't call me after this time. My pet peeve is calling me through Facebook. Don't do that. None of my friends, or not friends, don't call me. Don't do that. That's one of my boundaries. Don't. If you're my friend, you have my number. Text me, call me. I'm okay with that. And be mindful of the boundaries. When to come over, when not to come over, where to go, where not to go, what to say to them, what not to say to them, how to talk to them, how not to talk to them. Some of us like certain words and some don't like certain words. So you have to be mindful of that. Tones, right? That all of that matters in a relationship. Number 7, you resent your friend's happiness and or success. To me, that simply spells out jealousy. And that means you're not a good friend. In fact, you're not even a friend at all, especially if you're jealous of your friend. So those are 7 points, 7 clues to let you know if you're being a bad friend or if someone you're connected to is a bad friend. It's about the point. It's about time now, you guys, that we take a look at who's in our friend catalog, if you will, or who we're calling friends. Are they good friends or bad friends, or if we're being bad friends? And tonight we're going to continue on in the conversation. It is part 2. You all know Pastor Will. If it's good, he's going to keep that thing going, or we're going to pull on him so that he can keep it going and tell him to bring it back. And tonight, he's brought it back. Tonight, I'm excited because we get to talk about friendships. Is it time to grow or is it time to go? Whoa. Is it time to grow in that friendship or is it time to go? Look, Ken says, or maybe not friends at all. Yes, Ken. Maybe not friends at all. And maybe, listen, I'm not even go there yet. I'm going to save it because I want to share something with you all. But I want to bring my best friend to the screen to share this up with me tonight and to set the stage. Everybody has seen her. We're always tagging each other. We're always posting with each other. It's my best friend, Crystal. Hey, Crystal.
Hey, BFF.
Listen, y'all. She was like, do what? Beware? Huh? I said, yeah, come on. We have to do this today. We got to do it together. She was like, okay.
Okay.
So we are diving in. Hey, Tam. Hey, Tam. So we are
Hey,
diving in
Michelle.
tonight. And best friend, we are talking about friendships. Is it time to grow or go? And you
Okay.
heard the 7 points from last week. How long have we been best friends?
Well, we started out rocky at first. We was more like associates. And
That's
then
good.
we
That's
were
a
more
good
like
point,
associates
though.
because, there's steps to this,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, you
So
started out
then,
already hot.
once I think what happened was, first of all, this was not our doing, getting together. This was God's doing.
Okay, all right.
Because it was like everywhere I went, why she here?
Yep, that's true.
And then she was like, well, why is she here?
Why she here? Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess we might as well go ahead and get this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, tight like glue ever since what? After graduation? We went away to Christmas.
That's what I was going to say. It's been a long time.
High school graduation.
After graduation, yeah. High school.
30 years almost.
Jeez, that's a lot.
That's
it's been more than 30 because Will is actually 30.
Will is 30, so it's been more than 30.
Jeez, that's a long time. It ain't always been good, y'all. I'm just telling y'all right now.
It's
that's
up,
how you know it's real friends.
It's on, it's off. But you know what you have to do is when you go through those troubled times, you have to determine, is this somebody that's worth losing? Or is this somebody that's worth keeping? Is the situation really that bad that I got to say, you know what? I don't want it.
Oh, you jumping right on in. You already talking about the grow and go. Trying to decide whether or not. That's good.
Yeah.
So how do we decide? Are we taking those 7 points that Willie talked about last week? I have some more points that I'm going to share with it. But how do we decide whether or not? Like what gauges? Like for us, let's just, you and me, let's be transparent for a moment and we'll dig in some more to what John Stennis.
John, my
I see you, friend, and friend in capital letters. Whatever. Whatever. Let's talk about us, Crystal, because we're very different and yet very much alike.
Yeah.
I like to say that. We're very different and yet very much alike. But for you or for us, what would you say was like some of the determining factors to say, is this relationship worth maintaining?
Well, I know that you're loyal. It doesn't matter, what we're going through or how mad I get, because 9 times out of 10, it's me that's mad. It's me that's mad and just taking it too far and dragging it. But anyway, you're loyal. I know that you come from the same cloth that I come from.
Yes.
I know that we agree on 99% of things, raising our children, how we handle each other, how we handle other people, how we handle our elders, all of those things match. So loyalty, honesty, because you're going to tell me the truth. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. When I'm right. And then there's that in between. Okay, I'm going to ride with you now. But when we get to this house, we get together. All right.
Yeah.
And then we're committed as friends. No matter what it is, no matter how high we got to climb up the hill, if there's a commitment there. There's no way I'm leaving her side. That's just it.
I think that is, all of those points are so true. And I would say ditto as it relates to you.
Oh, and I trust you.
And that's huge.
The trust level for me, I could leave my kids and not think a second thought.
Say so.
And I've done it. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I can put it in her lap and say, she got it.
The dog, don't leave a cat though. The dog will be okay.
Well, he can go outside. The cat, let him roam around outside. Keep him within the gate.
I done raised a whole bunch of kids. Lord have mercy. I have had a bunch of children. This Ashley says, hey, Sora, Ashley.
Hey, Sora.
This is good. You're right. Listen, trust. You talked about trust, and trust is huge. You talked about loyalty. Loyalty is huge. I think that our relationship, and those that are in our corner, our circle, loyalty and trust is really big for us because I've got to be able to be vulnerable with you. I've got to be able to share my secrets with you and know that my secrets aren't going to go past your lips.
That's right.
Into your ears, and they're not going past your lips. And I don't care how upset you get with me. They're not going to go past, that point. And you're right. We've had some conversations that we didn't like. Neither one of us like. But we had to have those conversations. We had to get over ourselves.
Yeah.
And you're right. No matter how long we were mad at each other or how long you were mad, we would always circle on back. And that's when you know that a friendship is worth having.
Yep.
It boomerangs. It's going to come back. Whether you like it or not, you just keep looking up and you be like, dang, this person ain't going nowhere.
Or, let me try to... I'm mad at her. Okay.
Man, I sure wish I could call I can't call Crystal right now. That is too funny.
Let me give a little bit more time.
Michelle said, I can trust that both of you have my best interest at heart. That's true. And that again, you all, Michelle is one of our friends as well. And that's important that you know that the person has your best interest at heart. And that's why I said, that's how you know. And we're still talking about grow and go. Your relationship will grow when you know that you can trust the person, when they're loyal to you.
Yep.
And when they're going to be honest with you. Trust, loyalty, honesty doesn't always mean we're going to like it. It just doesn't. Even the word of God says, faithful are the wounds of a friend, which means I am going to tell you to the best of my ability, right from wrong.
And if you don't have those moments, are y'all really friends?
That's good.
If I can't pull your coattail and say, hey, bring it back. That's not right. Or, you know what, I ain't really like what you did at this point. However, you have to get that across. If you can't tell me that and I can't tell you that, are we really friends?
Are we really friends? Are we really friends? That's big. Or to even be able to come back and say, just recently, I had a situation I went through in my life and I didn't share it, but I had to come back to my best friend and I had to say, you know what, I'm sorry. And you got to be able to take it.
Yeah.
I had to say, you know what, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I didn't share this with you. I should have shared this with you. So if you want to give me a few knocks upside my head, I'm going to have to take them. I ain't going to fight you back. I'm just going to have to take them because I know you're my friend. You have my best interest at heart. You would have done everything possible to help me through it. And I did the wrong thing. And that's, again, growing in your relationship, in your friendship. That's
but you do have those moments though where you even as a best friend you think, should I mention this? I don't want to put too much on their shoulders. This might be a little bit too heavy. But eventually you have that break where it's like, okay, I need to talk to you because there's no one else to talk to. Who you talking to, the wall? You got to have an outlet. However long it takes you to get to that point, you have to have an outlet. And you have to have a friend to have that with. You can't just do that with anybody.
That's good. That's good. Because I'm not going to look at you like you crazy. I'm not going to judge you. Yep. I'm not going to judge you. We're going to sit and talk this thing out. If we got to fight together, guess what? We're going to fight together.
And then we
got to cry it out. We're going to cry it out. If we're going to laugh it out, we're going to laugh it out.
We're going to pull each other back up and say, okay, now, how can we fix it? Because we got to get past this. We got to get past it.
Period. I love it. Y'all, let me tell you, it got so in our early days when we were younger, like we grown now, y'all. We 30 years in, we already told y'all that. But in our early days, we would even involve our parents. If we would fall out, babe, we tell our parents, and our parents would be like, okay, y'all better get it together.
Y'all better get it together. Have you talked to Nancy? Because she been calling here. I went over there to pick up Essence, and she said she ain't talked to you in a week. What?
We would involve our parents. And that's important too. And that's why you said, you made mention of us being cut from the same cloth, because a lot of times, those things that are important to you, they have to matter to both of you all. You have to have the same morals, if you will, or same standards, just in being a person for a relationship.
Ashley says, what would you say to someone that says he or she doesn't have a friend?
I would question that.
Well, some people don't, but I think that's because either they don't know what they're looking for in a friend. They don't
Mhm.
know those needs that they need from someone else. And you don't know what it is that you want for yourself.
And
Even
have you shown yourself friendly?
yeah,
Because now here we go with the word again. If you want a friend, you have to first what? Show
show
yourself
yourself friendly.
friendly.
Yeah.
So are you showing yourself to be friendly? Which again goes back to what Pastor Will was talking about on last week about presenting yourself or being a bad friend. None of us were sent here to be
Mm-hmm.
alone,
Right.
right? Or to walk this thing out called life alone. So we have to question ourselves. Look at, turn the mirror because
Yep.
we're
Get
good
in the
at
mirror.
pointing and saying
Mm-hmm.
somebody's not something. But look back and say, why is it that I don't have any friends? Why don't I have any friends?
There's something.
There's something there. Do you have some walls up, blocked? Have you been hurt? Have you been damaged? And now you put some walls up to protect yourself from being vulnerable again, from trusting again, from
Yep.
loving, because you have to love. I love my best friend. I love my friends, y'all.
I
I
love
love
my
my
best.
friends. So you have to ask yourself those questions. Willie says,
Yeah.
love you both. Thanks for stepping in.
Love you too.
Why he on here? We got his show. Don't we got his show. He just,
Michelle.
be quiet. Michelle says, pray and ask for divine connections. Yes. Yes. That's important.
That's
What
another thing.
you
That's
were
something
in the
you
show
have to
some
have something in
stars
common.
to show your support, and we thank you in advance. We thank you in advance. Yes, 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 yes. Ashley says, agreed. Definitely got to show yourself from. You have to. You have to, because I'm watching. It's telling me whether or not, hey, honey, he my friend
Just
too.
look over to the left and say, "Hey, honey."
Well, he not in here with me right now.
Okay.
Stop telling on me, okay? You tell us
Mm-hmm.
to look over to the left. See how you just? I'm sitting here by myself right now. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Now, but that's important too. Asking for divine connections,
Mm-hmm.
praying about your relationships. I was going to share earlier. Someone told me months before. I had a conversation some years ago with an apostle sister of mine, and she said you have to put people in categories. So maybe
Yes,
we have. Oh, you like that? You like that?
I got those categories.
You got you got those categories.
You know, I did my research, honey.
You did your research.
Yes, let's break it on down. Now, what they say is
Uh-huh.
you have the category of essential care. Those are
Mhm.
your close
How
friends.
many categories are there?
4.
Okay, let's talk
You have
about the
essential
categories.
care, which are your close friends, your best friends, those that you consider your circle.
Okay.
Then you have those that are just for collaborations. You have
Nice.
a shared interest, or you use them at a specific time in your life.
Okay.
Then you have associates. We talked about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This could be
Mm-hmm.
someone that you work with. You guys have something in common, like an interest or a passion or a hobby. And then you have the mentor mentee, where someone is at a higher level than the other, and you may go for support. You may
Mm-hmm.
need to just talk, touch base,
Some
and then they
instruction,
help
some
you through.
teaching, some training. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those
Let's
are the
go back over
levels.
these categories again because those were great categories. Those were great categories. And it's important that once you have categories, my brother, Apostle RJ, said that you have to define the relationship.
You have
So,
to.
in defining the relationship, those categories are great because you won't find yourself let down,
Mm-hmm.
hurt, or
Mm-hmm.
saying, I don't have any friends, right? If we're mature enough to look at people for who they are in our lives and to ask ourselves, why is Crystal in my life? Why is this person coming to me now? And being able to put them in those categories, then we won't find ourselves in positions where we're saying, I don't have a friend. Or maybe we won't even find ourselves in the position of being a bad friend.
Right.
And we won't have to find ourselves trying to figure out whether they've got to go. Why? Because we'll be so busy growing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And then you
Because
don't
we
have
put
that
people in the
mix
right
up.
categories.
You're not telling collaboration friends what you should be telling essential friends.
Come on here. Now let's go back to the top of this list with these friends again. I like this.
So
Let's
you got
talk about these friends. Okay, so first category.
essential, first
Category number
category,
one.
essential care.
Essential care.
These are people that are in your life. They are essential to you, meaning you
Mm.
need them to survive. These are the people that you go to. I got a problem. Hey, This is my secret. I only need to tell you, hey, I need help with my mom. I need help with my dad. My kids are, it's falling short. I need
I like
somebody to
it.
pray. These are your essential friend groups.
And I
This is
have
not,
some of those in my life. I have some people, I promise you, they're not like my best friend. They're not per se my friend, but I'm in their life, I would say, for essential care because they'll call me and say,
Mhm.
you know what? I need you praying.
I need
They
you to
don't
pray.
want nothing else. They're not saying, come on, let's go have lunch. Come on, let's go out for coffee. They're not saying I need to borrow $5. They saying, I got a problem right now and I need you to pray.
I need you because only you can fill this void.
I need you
And
to pray.
what I'm asking you to pray about, I know my business is not going to be everywhere.
Listen, that's good.
This between me, you, and God.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So come on, y'all. Jot these categories down. Essential care. That's that person that you essentially need in your life.
Mm-hmm.
That person
This
that you
this
essentially
group
need
is
in your life.
small. This is a tight-knit group. This is
Tight
not a
knit.
group of 25 people. These are not the people that you're doing brunch with.
Yeah.
These are the people that you can come gather with. Maybe not even a handful, just those people that you can touch.
Love
These
it.
are your essential friends.
Love it. Now here's my thing. Let me put this in there. Because am I going to talk to my essential friends every day?
You don't have to.
Am I going to
Essential
talk to them?
friends, I could talk to you Monday and not talk to you for another 2 weeks. We could pick right up where we left off.
Love it. Love it. All right. Number 2.
Collaborations.
Collaboration. Dana said, I got those in my life. She's got some of those in her life. She's got some everybody. Listen, y'all, everybody should have some essential friends. Yeah.
You need them.
We all have to have some essential friends. That's important. That's important. Number 2, collaborations. Friends to collaborate with. I love this one. I love this one because this one really tells you.
Yeah.
This one answers the grow or go for me.
Okay.
Friends that we collaborate with. These are friends I'm talking about dreams and aspirations and goals with, right? Friends that I'm looking to build with. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I'm not in competition with you. It's that number 7 from what Pastor Will talked about last week.
That's right.
They're not happy about your success. They're not happy about your advancement or your promotions, but you need these friends that you collaborate with. We're on number 2, friends of collaboration. So that we can collaborate with each other. Talk to us, Crystal.
Now, these are friends that you may have shared a friendship with. It may not, it was like the right time, and then that friendship was done. Not that you just like them. We may not have fallen out, but we shared something, and they were friends at a specific time in your life. When you needed them.
That's good.
Seasonal friends.
That's good. That's good. Yep. And seasonal friends are okay.
They okay.
We have to be okay with having seasonal friends. Everybody isn't meant to be a lifetime friend.
This is true. You might just need that one word of encouragement for that one day. Thank you, friend. And that might be it.
Or even for that moment in your life when you're going through something, maybe they have the answers, right?
Absolutely.
Because they know how to do something that you don't. And so for that time, they're there.
They serve.
And when it's over, it's over. Doesn't mean I hate you. No. Doesn't mean I dislike you. No. Doesn't mean we fell out. If I see you, I'm going to speak like, hey, girl, hey, how you doing? You good? I ain't talked to you in a long time. All right, it was good seeing you. And we're going to keep on going, right?
That was the person that God used to stretch you.
Oh, to enlarge your capacity.
So that you can be ready for your essential friend.
Yeah.
Your stepping stone.
I like it. I like it. Number 3, Crystal. What's our number 3 friend?
Number 3 are associates. Now we all have associates. And they come and go.
They come and go.
These are the friends that you need to determine: are you go or are we gonna grow? These are your work friends.
Them the associates, boo. Them y'all ain't really. Come on, y'all ain't really.
Y'all ain't really
my friends. We just co-workers.
We just share a common interest.
We just co-workers.
Girl, did you see the movie? We both like Marvel. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
And the problem is a lot of times we label them as friends, right?
Yeah.
They never really even were our friend or even wanted to be in the position or place of a friend. But we've given them that place in our lives, thus causing the letdown, the hurt, and the disappointment in our lives.
That is
Dana
correct.
says you got to be mature to understand the difference, and you do.
And
You do,
people
and that's
blur
why I
those
said, Dana,
lines.
we have to ask ourselves the question: why is this person in my life? What's happening here? What's going on? Sometimes we have to, especially if we feel like they've let us down or it's not really going anywhere, step back and say,
Step back.
okay, did I put you in the wrong category? We don't always have to do the Facebook clean out, the Facebook wipe out. Sometimes I just got to take you out of category 1 and put you
in
in
category 3.
Yep.
Because your work, a lot of time, and what happens is, let's just use work friends, associates, for example. You spend a lot of time with these people.
Yeah.
You're at work, you guys are exchanging stories, they know your kids, they know what, and not personally, but they know what you're telling them. So there's a lot of information shared. And for most people, that feels like an essential friend, but it is not. These are not people that's praying with you. These are not people that are going to come and support you at your events. These are not the people that you can call on a dime and say, I need you now. These are not those people. It looks that way, but it's not.
Yeah, they're not them. Hey, Shaniqua. Hey. Yeah, that's good. Even, how about the people at church? Are they
associates?
Associates.
Most of them. Now, do not get me wrong.
I had to say the people at church, because sometimes, we go to the church, and again, we're so let down, and some people deal with church hurt because you thought everybody
was your
at church was your friend.
Not so.
Not so. Not so. Dana says, stop giving too much information to the wrong people.
That's
so true. Stop giving too much information to the wrong people. Again, you've got to put people in their category, and you have to define the relationship. And let me point this out. While I'm saying define the relationship, my definition of relationships may not be your definition of the relationship.
You got to cast the net. And you cast the net. And I hate to say set a trap, but you have to test people. You have to create boundaries. Are you going to go over my boundaries? You have to create realistic goals and what you want out of a relationship. If you find that this person is not meeting just the bare minimum, they're not going to be a good essential friend.
They're not going to be a good friend to collaborate with. If you're trying to build, right? If you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to build, you want to write a book, you want to do something, and that other person you're talking to has nothing to add to it, they can't help you get where you're wanting to go, because sometimes we don't always know everything. So you need somebody to partner with you and pull you up, try to help you get where you want. If they can't do that, well, I got you in the wrong group. Let me put you over here.
Down. I watched the interview with a young man, and he made a very good point. He said, if I'm doing business and I'm looking for a business partner, and I sit down and I talk to you and I get information from you, and I find out you don't take care of your kids, you're not going to take care of this business. Because those are supposed to be the most important people in your life. And now I'm asking you to come over here and help me. You're not going to stand by me either. So there are key things that people will say to let you know their character.
That's good. That's good. Hey, Shaniqua said Jesus had 12 disciples, but there were certain ones that were closer to him than others. That's so very true. Certain ones that were closer to him than others. And Jesus knew his friends.
He already had them in categories.
He knew them. He knew who would do what, and he knew who wouldn't do what, right?
And called them on it.
Yeah. You got to know which one of your friends is going to do something or will do that, and which one of your friends
will not.
Will not. Categories matter. Number 4, Crystal, do we have another? We have a 4th category, right?
Mentor, mentee.
Mentor, mentee. Mentor, mentee. And guess what? Mentor, mentee isn't always a friend, if you will, because if we become too familiar with them, we can mishandle them.
Yes, we can. And that's on both ends.
On both ends.
That's on both ends.
So it's important to know when you're the mentee And it's
And when you're the
important to know
mentor.
when you're the mentor.
Hmm.
That's a heavy category, actually.
And it's not always about being a big sister or a big brother. You could be a mentor and mentee and be on equal levels. We could both be 50. And I'm still looking for you to give me information
That's good.
or to educate me, or you've been through something that maybe I'm about to go through. Now I need some help and assistance on that.
That's good. That's good. Or you've been anointed to do something.
Yeah.
You've been anointed to do this or do that, and now you're helping me do it. You're
Yeah.
getting me where I need to be. You're helping
Yeah.
build me up. That's huge, 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 huge. I love it. All four of those categories. Listen, I hope you all jotted those down along with the last 7 points that Pastor Taylor shared on last week, because each one of those points are huge. And it's the purpose of the series. The purpose of the series is to cause us to step back and to take a look at where we are and who we are. That's
Yep.
good. Where we are and who we are. This is a life lesson that we must learn. Yes, Kim, it really is. It is a
Before
life
too late.
lesson. And I think sometimes real friendships has
It,
ebbs and flows. They're fluid. Real friendships are fluid.
yep.
I think sometimes we are trained because even as children, we go to school, we call everybody our friend.
Everybody. That's my friend. That's my friend.
But parents tell us that too. Like you tell the kids, "Is that your friend?" When we pick them up, "That's your friend. That's your friend."
Uh-huh.
No, we have to
Or
stop doing that.
or go to school and make friends. We don't break it down to say you're and sometimes the kid is too young,
Yeah.
so it's playful. But as they get older, you're supposed to now direct them. Okay, now you have these 10 friends. Who do you trust?
Hmm.
Who's going to have your back? When you was on the playground about to get in a fight, who
Hmm.
ran up? Because all of them didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it was
Who's
someone
turning in their
coming,
homework?
who's obeying their parents?
Yeah.
Which
Who's
one of
who's
them
this?
want to go to church with you?
Yeah. Those are all important categories. And if we teach our children that, it helps them now look at
Mm-hmm.
their friend selection as well. It helps them to put people in categories as well too, or their friends,
Yeah.
their associates, their classmates in categories as well. Because now they're looking. Okay, you want to turn your homework in and do your homework. Oh, you know how to do the math.
But you don't want to
Okay.
help me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
maybe you're the one I need to collaborate with because I don't understand the math. So let me see if I can collaborate with you, or if you'll collaborate with me.
And that
Or
might be your stopping. That might be your stopping point because we
yes,
may not even
yes.
go to the same high school.
Listen,
That's the end
Shaniqua
of that.
says, I just want to say that these are my sorors. I love them, but even in organizational connections, there will be difference in how those friendships look.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yes.
good, Shaniqua. That's good. Even in organizational connections, even in a sorority, on your job, or any other group like the usher
Any
board,
setting.
nurses board,
Yep.
any social setting, because there are so many different social settings.
Yep.
That's a great point. Yes, we all are. Yes, she's our soror. That's very true. Um, and she says, I love them, but even in organizational connections, there will be differences in how these friendships look. Yes. And
Yes.
just because we are sorority sisters does not always mean we're going to be friends.
Doesn't always mean that.
Mm-mm. And doesn't even mean that we're supposed to be friends. We just have a common interest right here. When we come together as
We're
sorority sisters,
sorors.
that we're sorors handling the common interest.
That's correct.
That's so good. Because the first thing we'll be doing is saying, these are all my friends.
And it's not possible.
Mm-mm.
It's
Because we
not
have different,
possible.
yep, yep.
And it's not
Different
healthy.
goals, different interests. Yes. So true. So very good. All great nuggets. You all, listen, do us a favor. We've got about 20 minutes left. And I want you to share the live. You all come on, keep on giving us the hearts. Pastor Will mentioned earlier giving the stars to show your support of this broadcast. It's not going to end tonight with us. It's going to continue on next week. It's going to be another great show. So you want to tune in again on next week. And again, just take a look at your connections. I don't even want to say your friendships at this point. Take a look at your
Mm-hmm.
connections. Start to see if you've got people in the right category so that you're not hurting yourself in a relationship. Again, am I growing or is it time to go? And sometimes you'll grow. And
Yeah.
sometimes people are just kind of meant to be. But then sometimes there are some people that are meant to just go
To go.
ahead and close the chapter with.
To go. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Shanika says, I may call a bunch of them sorors, but only a few are friends. That's true.
And that's real life.
That's real life.
That's
That's
real life.
real life. Real life. I took some notes earlier and it talked about friendships and whether or not it's time for a friendship to end and or to dissipate. And one of the first thing they said was, if your friendship is rooted in the past, in other words, you're
Mm,
still living in the past, and that is what's carrying your friendship. So it says the most common reason old friendships dissipate is that the past becomes the only thing linking two people together.
that's
It's
good.
only your past that's linking you all. Nothing currently.
Yeah.
You have nothing to show for the relationship right now, but the only thing that links you all is your past, and you keep going back to that time.
And that's not growth.
That say
So
it
you're
again.
already not growing.
You already are not growing.
The relationship is stunted. So it's time to
Yep.
move on.
To move on. It says, if you've noticed that most of your conversations and bonding experiences are rooted in old memories, it may be time to either sever the ties or create some distance. It sounds complex, but this is a common and necessary struggle. And it says, even for celebrities at times.
Yep.
Shaniqua says, I had to end a very close friendship because of unhealthy competition, which goes back to number 7.
Yes. Are you jealous?
Are you jealous? Goes back to number 7. So when you realize that someone's jealous of you or they're not, happy for you, they're not celebrating with you, you turn around, you clapping and you celebrate, you look around and they're not there. It's time to say, okay, what's going on with this
What's going
relationship?
on?
And ties may have to be severed. Number 2 says you don't have much in common anymore. We don't have much in common. We've grown. I like to
Growing
say,
apart.
we've hit that fork in the road, and now our interests are different, and we're growing apart.
You're growing
Right?
apart. Mm-hmm.
That's
And that's
basically,
common.
and
That's
that's
common.
common. Yeah, that's common because we want different things. We've gotten older, we've matured a bit more,
Yep.
or we're doing different things, and the relationship is veering off in different
Yeah.
directions. Shaniqua says she was happy with me while I was beneath her.
Ooh.
But when I started growing, she got mad. That's a
Oh,
telltale sign.
that was harboring for a long time.
A long time. I was there. It was fine though, as long as Shaniqua didn't have anything. And I don't
Going
want to say
on.
above her, but but as long as she felt like Shaniqua was beneath her,
Yeah.
she hadn't accomplished anything, or she didn't have nothing up on her,
Then we was good.
then we was good. But when Shaniqua went back to school, let's just say, for example, and I'm not saying y'all she went back to school, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if let's just say if she went back to school and got a degree, higher education, maybe that person became jealous of the fact
That now we're equal.
mhm, or perhaps her degree is higher.
We probably been equal the whole time. But maybe Shaniqua just was kind of laid back with what she had going on.
That's
But when that
good
came to
because
the
sometimes some of your
forefront,
gifts, some of your talents, aren't
mhm,
seen.
yeah. But
That's
when it came
good.
to the forefront, she said, "Wait a minute now. Now we
Yeah.
can't battle. I don't want to battle. So if I can't be the star, then we had a problem."
Wow. Michelle says, I told y'all that number 7 is important. That's true, Michelle. Number 7 is very important. Very
Very.
important. Kim says, this is true for family members too. Sometimes you have to move on from them too. Yeah. Doesn't mean you don't love them, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you don't love them. I mean, after all, they are your family. They're not going nowhere, right?
It's forever.
But it just simply means that, that's all it is. It's just, oh, no man anything but to love him.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
love you, although we don't have anything. I don't want to see anything bad come to you. I love you, but
I
This
can't.
this is where we're just family. There's nothing
That's
else
right.
there. We're just family.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep. So you don't have much in common anymore. I think I shared this one already. This is one of the signs that you've outgrown someone or that your friendship is outgrown. It says it helps to remember that everyone is on their journey towards self-discovery. So all of us are on a journey towards self-discovery. So a shift in your commonalities is not a sign that you did anything wrong.
Right.
It's simply a signal that you are taking a new direction. And guess what? That's okay.
That's okay. That's why they have exits on the highway. You can stop or get off at any time.
Yep. You can
But
change courses at any time.
you can reroute all of those things.
And you know what? Even while we're talking about this, guess what? It's not a one-sided situation. I have a right to decide if I want to remain in the relationship.
You 100%.
I have a right to decide whether I want to be in a relationship or not. If I don't want to be in a relationship, guess what? I can say, this is the end for me.
It's not working out.
This ain't working out.
We had some fun times.
We had some great memories. Yep.
But the best thing to do is end things when you can end them at a good stage of the relationship. Not once you get mad. You want things to be, hey, we had a good time. We had a good reign. When you see each other out, hey, how you doing? Girl, it's really good to see you. I hope everything is doing well. But you don't want to get to that point where you've burned that bridge.
Yeah. And that's maturity, like we were mentioning earlier. There's a level of maturity there that you have to get to, or that we have to get to, in order to be able to do that, to say, you know what, this friendship isn't working, or this friendship has ran its course. I don't hate you, but our friendship has ran its course. We can't be friends anymore.
Yeah, the friendship has changed.
Yep. The terms have changed. Honey, these terms and conditions have changed. Yeah. Number 3 says you revert back to a younger version of yourself when around them, which means you downplay yourself.
Let's not do that. I want you to be who you are
at all times.
If you cannot be who you are, and I don't care what type of relationship this is, friendship, marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, teacher, student, you have to be able to be exactly who you are. Because if you can't accept me that way, then we don't have a friendship. Because the moment I revert to who I really am, then it's a shock. You don't know that person. Now we're building and you're trying to learn me again. Just start from
Yep. Number 4 says you don't want to engage in old or bad habits. So when I read that one, I even thought about people that have, if you will, gone through Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't drink anymore. I don't want to drink. And then you come around and then the person is just pouring up. And you haven't even considered your friend. Like, boundaries. And the friend's sitting there like, so yes, now, good one, Crystal.
Boundaries, and that's what respect.
Boundaries are being crossed.
And the respect.
And the respect is thrown out the window.
Yes.
The concern, the care, right?
That's right.
Out of the window.
The consideration.
Yep. So that tells you right there, you know what? And it's okay if that's what you want to do. That's just not what I want to do now.
So I can't do that.
I can't do it. So now I've got to go on about my business. It says, there's no need to judge your old friends or feel superior for tackling your bad habits. Instead, kindly express to them that you are working on eliminating a certain lousy habit, and therefore you need to spend less time around them. So because this is where I am in life, you know what? I'm just going to create some distance. I'm going to put some distance here and do what I need to do.
You adjust.
Number 5, you feel exhausted around them instead of energized. Instead of me growing from you, you wearing me thin.
I'm working overtime.
Trying not to make sure I don't hurt your feelings. Trying not to make sure I do this or I do that. Trying to make sure. No.
I get kids at home already.
Yep. Shaniqua said, if I can't be me, we can't be us. That was good, Shanique. That's good. Yep, that's good. Let's see. The friendship has become one-sided. I'm a giver, you're a taker.
There's a certain amount. I read it today.
You read it today. Come on.
Well, actually, I didn't read it today. I was
Okay,
listening
friend.
to Duvall and Kay's book.
Okay.
And what they said was there's a certain amount of service that is necessary and required in any relationship. We have to be able to serve each other. That's not just for husband and wife. There is a certain amount of service that you have to provide. If I'm giving, then there has to be something that you're giving as well, because we've drawn and pulling off of each other.
That's good. That's good. I was gonna ask that. Tammy says, should you just walk away or actually tell the person what's going on?
Tell them.
Tell them. I say tell them too. I say tell them too. Yeah. Especially if there's a friendship there, if there's a relationship there, or there was a relationship there, I
Yeah.
think you should tell them.
You should tell them.
Yeah, I think so. Shaniqua says that's a big one. If I'm drained or exhausted because I'm tiptoeing over tripwires that they are not trying to work on, I can't do it. That's good.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends on the person and the situation. That's good, Shaniqua. So I guess you're now answering to what Tammy said.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tammy said I was going to ask that. Should you just walk away or actually tell the person what's going on? Shaniqua says it depends on the person and the situation.
Meaning their place in your life, or maybe if the situation is kind of in your face already, there's nothing to explain. You know why we're not friends anymore. You know why.
But Crystal, sometimes people don't know.
And you know what? A lot of people don't know, or they know and they try to play like they don't know. Well, what was it that I really did? I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. Or you have people that they need closure. I need to know why.
You should tell them to give them. And yes, I agree with the fact of closure. I'm big on closure. Charlotte says you should tell them to give them a chance to correct the issue. I like that too.
If it's our first time talking about it, I'm gonna go with it.
But what about Crystal? What about depending on the relationship? I think it depends on the relationship, the friendship. It goes back to what you said before. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this somebody that I am willing to lose?
This is true. So if you have friends, I don't think that you're having this conversation with a lot of your essential friends. I think these are conversations that you're having with collaborations, associates. These are the conversations you're having with them.
Or maybe these are the conversations you're having because you haven't put the people in their correct categories.
Because you have everybody in your essential.
Yeah, I think that's important, first of all, for us to be able to identify who people are in our lives. Like, it's some steps, y'all, we got to take, or some steps we got to start taking.
Yeah.
And I think the first step is to identify who people are in our lives. And based off of who they are in our lives, that will then tell us how to proceed in the relationship and or with the relationship. Because Shaniqua was still saying, again, I still feel like it depends.
Well,
Tammy says sometimes people really don't know, though, which is true. And then Denise says, so true. And Shaniqua says, if you are at a place where you are wanting to end the friendship, I can't see how they don't know there is a problem.
You'll be surprised.
I agree with you, Crystal. You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
Because you know why? You got to remember, Shaniqua, we look at things differently. People's perception may not always be your perception. People's perception may not always be your perception.
And you got to remember, too, friendships, relationships of any kind, it's not a one-stop shop. You don't go in and pick up a bag and say, this is friendship, and I'm good, and let's go. You got to build that thing.
Yeah.
This is a create your own menu.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to take some work.
Yeah.
And if that person is slacking on their work, then now you got to say, okay, now what category can I put you in?
Because Charlotte said people are not psychic. You have to have communication. Listen, Charlotte, you hit that nail right on the head. Pastor Martise and I tell couples, when we're counseling or when we're preparing for marriage or when we're dealing with marriage, in any relationship, communication is, you got to have communication. Someone wanting to end a friendship or relationship doesn't come out of nowhere. Well, it depends though, Shaniqua, because if I haven't said anything to you and I'm just kind of going along with the relationship, how do you know that? Or let's just say we've had something like this tonight, and a light bulb goes on.
Yeah.
But it didn't go on for the other person. Now the other person may not necessarily know. So I need to take the time now to say, you know what? I got some information. I received some information. I'm at a different place in my life. This is where I am. I understand that this, that, and the other.
We watch it in movies all the time. You have a relationship, the person feels a certain way, the other person thinks they're doing everything that they can.
Yep.
Then when that person comes and says, you know what, this is not working, I want a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are you talking about? It's just out of the blue. But they it's like, it's just, what are you talking about? Well, you never said this. You never mentioned that you were unhappy in this.
Yeah.
So that happens in friendships too.
And in marriage.
In all facets.
And in relationships. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
A lack of communication. Yes, Charlotte. Mm-hmm. A lack of communication. And sometimes let's just say we may not even know how to express ourselves, or we know something's not right, but we just don't really know what it is. Maybe clarity is coming as a result of the series.
The Best Man series. Sanaa Lathan's part and Taye Diggs. She jumped up and said, "This not working, I want a divorce." He had no clue of what was going on. Yeah. I never knew you wanted to move to another country. I never knew that you wanted to live in Harlem forever because this is the community that you want. You never communicated any of this or gave me the opportunity to make the corrections I needed to make so that we could be on one path.
Or to think about it or to look into it. And Shaniqua was right. To not mention there is a problem seems to be a separate problem. And yes, there is.
That is correct.
That's a whole nother horse of a different color. There's definitely a separate problem. It's a lack of communication. The question of why do you feel that like you can't communicate?
Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's a lot of things going on there. Those are a lot of moving parts.
Yep. It's a lot of moving parts. I think it's a whole lot going on. And I think that that's even why this series is so awesome, because we really don't take a look very often at our friendships. Maybe you could always say, hey, listen, he didn't look, y'all, our principal that stopped. They jumped in and said, so you have to stop and look and see. He said, you could always say that though. You could tell your friends or spouse, I can't put my finger on it, but I feel something isn't right between us, and go from there. That's true.
You could.
You can do that once you've identified it. Because sometimes you really don't realize
you just going with the flow.
Like this is going on until a series comes on, or until something's going on the TV, like you just said, Crystal, or like it's preached, and then you have a whole, we call them aha moments.
Yeah.
And you like,
well, this man ain't said nothing to me. Oh, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Okay, when I get home, I'm gonna have to touch base.
And then you really have to look at your relationship. Even again, I guess it's both, because it's relationship, right? And my marriage is a friendship too, but my best friend is out here with me tonight. But you have to look at the relationship and say, are we growing? Yeah. Are we really growing? Do we have the same interests? What's our vision? What's our plan? What direction are we headed in? Are we on the same page? You've got to evaluate that thing.
Yeah.
That's sometimes in every relationship. You got to evaluate that thing. Sometimes you just have to do it. Yes, Charlotte. See, I just said that. Sometimes you just have to do checkups and see where people are. Yes.
Hence the self-checkout show.
Hit the self-checkout show. You have to do some self-checks to see what's going on. And sometimes because we are so busy lifing, right?
Yeah.
And life is lifing, we get caught up in everything we got going on. And it happens even in marriages, y'all, where we're so busy putting our time in our children that we look over, or we don't even pay attention to the relationship because we focused on the little people. Yeah. And then 18 years later, when the little people gone, then we sitting looking like,
who are you?
Yep. All this time I didn't even know who you were.
Yeah.
And now
that even goes back even further. Before you even hooked up or got this relationship going, were you equally yoked?
Yeah.
Did you believe and stand on the same things at that point?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did y'all
How
discuss?
do we lose each other? How do we lose each other along the way? So now I got to
Go to the
figure
person.
out, now, are we going to grow?
Or are we gonna go?
He says, and a hard truth, sometimes we grow up. Yeah,
Yep.
you just listen.
Yep.
Didn't even realize it, but yep, he said it. And
Yep.
then Shaniqua says she was acting strange ever since she asked him to stay on the island, and they did the opposite. The way I watched it, the signs were there.
They
I
were
was
there.
surprised at how surprised he was about her wanting out. Because he was oblivious, though.
But I
Again,
understood both sides.
the language, the
I
language
understood
was
both
different.
sides. Men communicate different than women.
Yep.
We are creatures of emotion.
Yep.
And we feel like, okay, if I act funny a little bit, he's supposed to catch on. They need words. They need it written out. Hey, I don't like what you're doing. You're not treating me right. I mean, that's what they need.
That movie has me mad. Okay, listen. Let's see. She
Okay,
said,
let's get
okay,
off of
when
that.
Charlotte said, yeah, we all over the place. Y'all gonna get us in trouble. Charlotte said, because everybody ain't replaceable as we. Charlotte, that's
You better
so
say that.
good. We're a little over our time, y'all, but that's so true. Y'all give us a couple of more minutes and we're gonna get off. Charlotte said, because everybody ain't replaceable as we think.
They not.
You'll never get another them sometimes. Charlotte, that don't even take that down because that's huge. Crystal, that's huge.
But that goes
Everybody
back.
ain't replaceable as we think.
Is this person worth me staying in the fight?
That's big, y'all. That's why you have to sometimes pause, step back, and evaluate the relationship. And it's important to communicate because, like Pastor Will said last week about shutting people off at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, when we do those sweeps, you got to think about that. When you hurt somebody, when you shut down on that relationship, when you end a relationship, right? Prematurely, was that person that you just got rid of as replaceable as you think? That's why you got to know who they are in your life.
But that's what
you got to identify them.
Social media plays a big part in that. You getting on Facebook and announcing, I'm gonna clear my friends list. I'm gonna do that. Who are you doing it for?
Yeah.
Because you haven't thought that thing out.
Yeah.
You have to do things for you. Everything, social media, that's nice. But social media don't pick your friends. You do.
You do.
Social media don't build your relationships. You do.
You do. She said, because Charlotte, put it back. Charlotte, put your comment back. Look, I'm like, Charlotte, put it back. She said, because you'll never get another them sometimes. And we have mistakenly wrote off some amazing people in our lives because we didn't do what we need. We didn't take the time to apologize.
Yep.
We didn't take the time to talk that thing out.
Yep.
We didn't take the time to put people in the right categories. And we never get another one. Can you imagine, Crystal, all the times the ups and downs, let's go with the downs we had?
I was just about to say that.
See?
Could you imagine a 20-year-old us talking about we mad at each other and I'll never want to talk to you again? What?
Because we tried to pull it a few times.
A few times.
Wow.
That's why I say
huge.
We didn't build this relationship. We built it, but we didn't put each other together.
And that's why you got to know, like Michelle said earlier, whether or not it's a divine connection. But again, even young us, we didn't really know that it was a divine connection even then either. But I love that Charlotte said that because, y'all, that really hits home as it relates to grow or go. And even like Pastor Will was talking about last week about, am I a good friend? And what's to come next week? I think that we all need to take that with us moving forward. Everybody is not replaceable as we think they are. Tomorrow isn't always promised, right?
Facts.
So you'll never get another them, that person who was great in your life, who maybe you knew would pray you through, who would be there, who would, I'm not trying to be funny, but like Crystal said, who's loyal to you, who is honest with you, who you knew would cover you. Come on, somebody. Sometimes we need to be covered, our friendships, right? Yeah. That person you knew would go to bat for you. You'll never get another them sometimes. And we get rid of or we cut off great relationships because us is using at that time, or we're the frenemy.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
the
yeah.
enemy on the.
To
It's my
ourselves.
inner me because I'm being too stubborn to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Oh,
And all the building that you did. I couldn't, there's no way I could replenish over 30 years of friendship with somebody else and trust them.
ow,
That's out the question. I'll
wow.
just I'll just be roaming around by myself then because that's
Veronica said earlier, and we missed it. I agree with Dr. Murphy. Sometimes we outgrow some friendships, and I feel it's okay to communicate that and keep it moving. Yes. But the caveat to that is we've got to ensure, or we've got to make sure it's important that you know
you
what,
gotta
what
know.
category. And if
You
you've
gotta know.
actually, because sometimes we say we've outgrown something that we really didn't outgrow, but because of our pride, our
Uh-huh.
ego,
You never
my
even got to the
feelings,
lesson.
my emotions. Yes, Charlotte. Look, Charlotte says sometimes it's pride, and
Yeah,
yes, sometimes it is. We're too big to say I'm sorry, or we're too big to say I was wrong, or whatever the case may be. Shaniqua says facts, which is why you should be having regular conversations, not just it's over because. I like that.
that's for real.
Yeah. Pastor Will says that's why you fight for some and
And
release
release
others.
others.
And I think, Pastor Will, and you saying that, I think it was yesterday that you said it, and maybe it was even last week when you were live, because I know we were together yesterday, y'all. But maybe it was yesterday we were talking about it, or it was definitely last week. But sometimes you got to take that pause, right? To
Mm-hmm.
recalibrate, to
Mm-hmm.
breathe, to settle your emotions, to be able to think clearly and not move forward or proceed out of haste.
That's right. Take your time.
Take your time. Take your time. Shaniqua says, if I walk away, trust me, they know why. If I walk away, it's not salvageable because I value my relationships and will fight for them. That's good, Shaniqua. That's good. That's good. Let's see. Let's see. Facts, which is why you should having a conversation. That's why you fight for something. Yep. Sometimes it's pride, but like, yep. Tammy says that's important too. Who put the relationship together? That's huge.
Mm.
Sometimes it's not our job to break it up.
Come
God
on,
gonna get
Tammy.
us if we try to rid what he put together. Oh, Crystal.
Come on,
That's good.
Tammy. Because you know what? Y'all, sometimes we walk away from relationships. You haven't even learned the lesson.
Yeah.
You haven't even got
And you
what
didn't
you
put it together
needed.
no way.
Huh?
You didn't put it together
You're
no
not in
way.
charge of
That's
this.
good. That's good. That's important too. Who put the relationship together? That's huge. You got to be able to identify who put the relationship together. Who put it together? Did God put this person in your life? Did the Lord place this person in your life for a reason?
That's what it is.
Yeah. And sometimes we kicking and screaming and we don't want it, but God put them there to make us.
Yes.
Maybe to break us.
Yes.
And I'm not saying break in a bad way, right? I'm saying to break us so he can put us back together again, or to break us. Listen, okay, we're going off with a whole nother. I feel like, listen, it's 8:10. I keep because I was gonna pick up like Pastor Will did the other day with David and Jonathan. I'm not
gonna
gonna
go right in. Go right on in.
Jonathan had to go and get David and pretty much break him so that he could be restored. He had to check him.
Put back together.
He had to tell him about himself. No. Because God is all about reconciliation. Yeah. Right, Michelle. Wait a minute. Right. See, Tammy, about to preach. See what I'm saying? Y'all already know me. No, I am not. I'm not going to do this with y'all. Okay, listen. Let's get back. Okay, we did that.
Be obedient.
Charlotte should have been on this show. She should have been on the show too. Right. Absolutely. Because God is all about yes. Don't make decisions based off of emotions. Gonna mess up every time.
Key. That's the key.
That's true. You're right, Tammy. I walked away from something God led me to. Wow. And he got me right together. I had to go eat humble pie and own my part of the separation. Yeah, and that don't always taste good, nor does it feel good, nor do we like it, right? Because he will make us do that. Listen. All right, y'all. Listen, we are at the last comment. Michelle said, wait a minute. It is 8:10. It has been phenomenal. Thank you. Shout out to Pastor Will for allowing us to be on the show,
for
to take
trusting
over the
us.
show again,
Yeah.
to have the discussion. It was great chatting with you all tonight. Listen, I want to admonish you all. If you enjoy the show, if you're watching his show week after week, and we know that Pastor Will actually stays on top of current events, what's trending, what's happening, what's going on, what's relevant to each of us, right? Not just what's going on out there, but what's relevant. What do we want to talk about? What do we want to hear about? What do we want to dig into and think about? He says, taking a deeper look or an inner look at ourselves. That's how the self-checkout show came into being. Why don't you take the opportunity? Why don't you take this time to support the vision, to support what he started, to support what he's doing? There are ways to give that are scrolling across the bottom of your screen. He offers Cash App, $ W Taylor Ministries, PayPal.me//WTM Ministries, 3, and Venmo at the Self-Checkout Show. Apple Pay, 630-294-8354. All those ways are ways for you to sow into the ministry. Guess what? He's so humble. He didn't even put a dollar amount up there. He didn't say 5, 10, 15, 20. He's just simply asking for you to support the show if you're enjoying the materials that he's presenting week after week after week. And guess what? We want to extend, my best friend and I want to extend an invitation for you to come back next week. And as he continues the series, Friendship, Cover Me.
My best friend gonna preach.
No, I'm not going to be here next week.
Cover me. That's it.
Cover me. Friendship, cover me. That is going to be an awesome topic, an amazing discussion. And I'm going to tell you all, you don't want to miss it, because the young lady that's going to be on here next week it's going to be another awesome time, another great discussion. I'm not telling anything about it because guess what? My big brother, or my little brother, who's bigger than me in height, didn't give me permission to give y'all the details. How about that? So I'm just going to say, come on back next week, and don't you dare miss the episode. I'll be tuned in, and I'll be in the comments right along with you. So let's chop it up and chat together on next week. Yes, this was a lot of fun. Shout out again. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for taking care of us on tonight and making sure that everything flowed smoothly. And again, one big shout out to Pastor Will for the self-checkout show. All right, everybody. Listen, we love you all. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks for being a part of the conversation. You all have an amazing have an amazing night first, but enjoy the rest of your week.
Produce, and put those friends in categories.
And put those friends in categories. Good night, everybody. See you later. Take care. Bye, best friend.
Bye, best